Welcome to Dharmic Evolution. Hey everybody, I'm your host, James Kevin O'Connor, singer-songwriter, audio-video artist, master storyteller, and international talent agent. Hey, just another reminder, you ladies and gents out there, Dharmic Evolution Facebook community page, have you checked this out yet? We set this up for our fellow artists around the world so you can post things about your brand, your career, and share with not just all of our family of creators out there, but everybody who comes to the Dharmic Evolution website, to the show. You know, we've got a worldwide audience who loves to check in on the latest musical talent, so take advantage of this platform today. Pull in some more fans just by posting what you're doing. Take advantage, man. Hey, today we are in Waynesville, Missouri, with a lady who has enough going on in her life for 5 different people. So how about, for starters, an accomplished singer-songwriter, but we're not stopping there. She has a busy law practice with not 1 but 2 offices. She's also an author of 3 inspirational books, a devoted Christian who inspires and helps everyone she touches. She also bakes pies and is a mother of 3. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Superwoman Kimberly Faith. You better strap up your seatbelts and let's go for a ride. Are you a singer-songwriter, artist, or author? Are you in need of a platform for your career? Well, the James O'Connor Agency is in the business of helping you broadcast your global career. If you are needing to expand your presence in a big way, such as having your music and your voice heard around the world, well, look no further. We have the platforms here to help you catapult your career like no one else can. Your artistry can be featured around the world on the James O'Connor Agency YouTube channel. Here at the James O'Connor Agency, we can expand your global career by being a featured guest on Dharmic Evolution for singer-songwriters and everyone in the entertainment industry. Or The James O'Connor Show, designed for authors, speakers, and thought leaders. Both shows are international radio, TV shows, and podcasts. Go to the JamesO'ConnorAgency.com and find out what we can do for your global career right now. So, Kimberly Faith, we are in Missouri today, and listen, it's great to have you on the Dharmic Evolution. I welcome you to the show, and you've got so many things to talk about, and I don't even know where to start with you. You've got such a diverse and rich history behind you, and your music is awesome. So, let's start with the hippie years, shall we?
Sure. Well, my mom was a very free spirit. And she was born in Connecticut, joined just a group of, I guess, traveling hippies.
Right.
And we lived on both coasts and several places in between. We lived in teepees and state parks and lots of places without plumbing or electricity. I think we traveled some on a school bus. I was pretty young, to be part of it.
So then you didn't know the difference then, right? Like it didn't matter to you? Like did you even realize you were like living so differently from other kids?
Not really. I just thought that was the way people lived. And when I would go to my grandmother's house, she lived in Connecticut, my grandmother and grandfather's house, they had running water, they had a pool, they had like regular food, like, cause we ate like hippie food,
What is hippie food? What is it? Like, what do you guys eat?
Imagine one with nature. I mean, part of the time we were vegetarians, and we would live off the land and eat whatever we could find in the woods. We were good friends with the local health food store, so it was always had to be organic. It was kind of cutting edge to what, they do now. Now everybody does now,
Right.
In a way, the hippies were on the cutting edge of, we have now the Whole Foods market, right?
Yeah.
So we would spend a lot of time. I mean, I grew up outdoors pretty much.
Okay.
And we lived in the Northwest quite a bit, Seattle, Oregon, and then traveled on a school bus. It was modified to accommodate beds and people.
Right.
But yeah, no, it was a pretty incredible childhood from a lot of standpoints. Some were not so great, but mostly I look at it as a positive experience. It's really taught me how to relate to just about anybody.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. You know, when you think about it, like the hippies had the Whole Foods concept, like what, 30, 40 years or whatever, way ahead of everybody else. It's pretty awesome. You know, we circle back to it now so late, you know, but thank God we got to it at all.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, for the most part, like you said, there's a great merit to growing up and just being able to, not realize that you are missing anything. When I started, I didn't start elementary school till I was, steadily till I was in third grade.
Right.
I would go to school here and there if we happened to land somewhere where there was a school close by. But when I started elementary school steadily, that's when I realized that, oh, wow, we are a lot different than people who live in homes and have running water.
Yeah.
I kind of had the desire to eat Fruit Loops once in a while.
You know, you must have had kids like that you were growing up around that didn't live like that were probably fascinated with the way you lived. You know, did you have people like wanting to come over and hang out at the teepee? I mean, I would be digging that, man. Like, what's going on here?
I don't know that. I don't remember that. I do remember feeling quite different and kind of wishing I wasn't. When I started school, when my mom she moved to Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas, because the land was cheap and, well, you know, you grow things that you couldn't grow other places, if you know what I mean.
Right.
And so when I started school, I remember thinking, well, you know, I'd really like to be like the other kids because, you know, think about it. You don't have running water. You don't have electricity. You don't have the ways to stay clean. You don't,
right.
You know, you aren't, and of course I was registered in school as one of the things my mom let us do is pick our own names when we were hippies. Well, I was born Kimberly Faith McClarty, or Kimberly Faith. Well, I was adopted a couple times, so I'm not really sure what was on my birth certificate first, but
right.
I was McClarty when I was adopted at about age 11. But she let us register in school with our hippie names. So my name was Little Star.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I have report cards that say Little Star McClarty on them, which is kind of fun. I think in sixth grade, I changed over to Kimberly because I have a fifth grade report card that says Little Star. I'm old, so I don't remember these things, but I have report cards that say Little Star, and I have friends from that school that I've reconnected with on Facebook. That still, like Robbie Elkins, he'll send me a Christmas card and say Little Star, you know, because he remembers when I was this Little Star kid. And of course, my mom jokes about it because she said, you know, back in the hippie days, you used to, when we would all be gathered in the teepee around the campfire, you would write plays and perform every part and sing for us. And I was like, wow, you know, I remember it. It was it was crazy.
Yeah, so that's why you're the entertainer you are today, because you had to create your own fun, right? There was no like TV and all that stuff. There's no entertainment, right?
Exactly. It was, it was very, it totally spurned creativity in all of us kids,
right?
Which was fabulous.
Yeah, you know, I think it's a good time for us to get into. Let's play your first track here, and this is called "Best Friend."
What do you see? The world's gone crazy, maybe even me. Looking for love, desperate to find even just a little simple peace of mind. Oh baby, the struggle, God knows it's for real. Oh baby, the trouble, God knows what you feel, because He is my best friend. I can't live without Him. Oh, He is my best friend. I'm nothing without Him. Oh God, I surrender. Your love is all I need. This ain't no game. With a love like his, you'll never be the same. Oh baby, listen, I've been where you are. Let his love touch you. Give him your heart, because he is my best friend. I can't live without him. Oh, he is my best friend. I'm nothing without him. Oh God, I surrender. Your love is all I need. You are my heartbeat and the breath that I breathe. You are my best friend. I can't live without you. Oh, you are my best friend. I'm nothing without you. Oh God, I surrender. Your love is all I need. You are my best friend. Look in my eyes. What do you see? It is my Jesus, and he is in me. Oh, he is my best friend. I can't live without him. Oh, he is my best friend. I'm nothing without him. You are my best friend. You are my best friend. Look in my eyes. What do you see? He is the air that I breathe.
Best Friend. What a great track. I got to tell you, Kimberly, that was pretty awesome. So we were just talking on the break about, about songwriting. And so let's share with everybody your methods for getting so much done in your very, very complicated life. I won't say complicated, very busy life, but maybe it's a little complicated. And you seem to be able to accomplish so much that mere mortals are jealous. So tell us, how do you do all that you do? You're an attorney, you've got 3 children, songwriting career, you're an author, got a lot going on.
Well, I have to give credit to God. I mean, there's no other explanation for it. I didn't expect to be doing all this today at my age. And I really, when he started moving in my heart and changing me about 6 years ago, I discovered that all these things that he had created in me, back when I was a little star, were waiting for me to listen to him to have happen. And so what he does is he just makes me efficient and effective because it's all him, not me. And, I tell my clients when of course, my clients come in, they're coming to see me because they're having a really bad day. I mean, It's not because you don't send a lawyer because you're having a good day. And I'll talk to them about how God has helped me. And when I see them kind of shutting down, I'll say, do you know anyone smarter than God? And of course they don't. And
Right.
I have to tell myself that every day, because when we let God release what he created in us to be, not when we're not trying to be somebody else, but when we're trying to be just who he made us to be, then what he created in us becomes easy.
Right.
It's not a struggle. This song, Best Friend, was not a struggle to write. It was that's what I experienced with God, and it flowed out,
Right. Right.
So he just makes us efficient when we let him do his thing.
Right. Right. Yeah. It is kind of a mystical and mostly misunderstood concept for most people until you experience it, then you can
Absolutely.
really understand it, because I find myself in a very similar position with all the things that I'm working on and able to accomplish. The same type of deal. Hey, what kind of law do you practice?
I have a general practice, so
Oh, okay.
I handle. I live in rural America, and I have 2 offices, and so we handle everything from, well, I'll tell you my favorite areas of practice. Okay.
Okay.
I love adoptions. I mean, I was adopted, and I feel like I'm spreading the love on that one. That one's easy.
Right. Right.
And I also do a lot of estate planning, which I really enjoy because I like having people get squared away. I mean, taking, they walk out and they feel like they've done something and squared themselves away. They can have peace about things.
Right.
I also have a fairly big criminal practice, which it took me a long time to kind of get on the program, God's program with that. I tended to be more judgmental towards people who had been in trouble with the law. And God really changed my view about that. I can't think of a better mission field than people who are at the worst place in their entire lives, and being able to show them there is hope in God. I'm pretty selective about my cases. I'm not going to help a career criminal become even longer, extend his career.
Right. Yeah.
I actually make them write a contract about the things that they're going to do to change their lives, and I kind of keep track of them. It's not just, oh yeah, I'll get you out of this. So
you do that before you take on the case. You make sure that they're in agreement that they're going to hold up their end of the bargain.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Yes.
That's really awesome.
Yeah. Well, I believe that, as Christians, we're supposed to help make people's lives better. Success isn't about the money you make. It's about the people that you help, you know? And so that was kind of, God adjusted my heart about that, because I really had about, helping people who I kind of was like, wow, didn't you just like put away for life,
Right.
And and then the other area that I really enjoy is I have a lot of people who are injured in car wrecks and that sort of thing. And I really like to give them compassionate care. I mean, I feel like there's a segment that, especially Christian society and more conservative society, it looks at people who are they just said money grubbers. Well, the fact is, if I hit somebody and I injure them, then my insurance company ought to pay for their damages.
Right.
And so that's another area I practice in. Those are the kind of the four that I emphasize. I do other things too, but it's just, I mean, it would take an hour to talk about all the things that I do, really.
Right. Well, thank you for sharing that. I mean, I wasn't even planning on asking that question, but you give somebody like you gives a lot of hope to people. Like, I mean, I know people probably come to you with like these enormous, angst in their system. Like, I got to get rid of this. I need some help with this. So you're in the right place to help people, especially like you said, the criminal element kind of is, kind of looked down upon so much. And I'm sure a lot of people come to you that have legitimate disservices happen to them, and misfortunes happen to them where they need somebody like you to help them out. So not only that, but you probably write some music about them too, right? Some of these stories, you got no shortage for material, girl, right?
Well, of course, ethics prohibit me from talking about specific cases.
Right.
But I'll be honest with you, James. Most of the songs that I've written about just the trouble in life has been my own trouble. And, there's no better way to share the heart of Christ and how he has transformed you than by being transparent with your own struggles. Right. And honestly, that is who I am. For 20 years, I was a plastic Christian. I call it plastic Christian because, went to church, check the box, raised my kids in church, check the box, tithe, check the box, support missionaries, check the box. I was a plastic Christian. Nothing wrong with those things, but when they don't touch your heart, they don't mean anything. Right. And so when I went through a divorce, which was the biggest valley in my life, that's when I was in a place where God showed me who he was, because at that point I realized I didn't know him. I was saved. I'd been born again, but I did not know that he loved me with the intense kind of love, like I love my children, but better. But like my love for my children on steroids, that's God's love. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And learning that, and the experiences of, like, my first album, the song Never Alone. I mean, that was one of my first songs I wrote. And it was where I was when I found God. It was like, oh, I don't have to be alone. I'm not alone. I feel alone, but I'm not, because his love started to fill me up. Right. And we're filled with him. we don't need the love from people. We need to give it. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense. Yeah. When you give, you receive so much more. And
Absolutely.
thank you for the plastic Christian reference. That's a first time for me. I never heard that. It's plastic Christian. That's really, and it's, you didn't even have to explain it. As soon as you said it, I said, wow, what a great metaphor. That's really cool.
Well, I don't remember when I started using that term, but it just described me to a T. I mean, people in the community knew, oh yeah, she's a Christian. And I was up here Christian. I wasn't, Jesus, he didn't spend his time with the Christians, except for his disciples. He was out there with the parts of society that, unfortunately, we don't even let in our church doors.
Right.
Over times. And so my law practice is like the perfect mission field. It's like,
yeah.
Oh, honey, you got trouble. Let me tell you about Jesus. Let me tell you who he is and what he can do for you. And I mean, I think it's an amazing opportunity. I get to do this every day, and I get paid to do it.
Yeah. That's the best part. Yeah.
I mean, not always, but and really sometimes people just, I just get to talk to them, and that's good. And it's kind of funny. I have 7 fabulous girls that work for me, and they're so funny because they're so tuned into this ministry, and they also help me work with, getting my music copyrighted and all this stuff. But one of my girls will say, Kim, so-and-so needs a Jesus appointment. I made him a Jesus appointment. I gave him an hour. I'm like, perfect. Let's do this. And I mean, it's just what we do, you know?
Yeah. I want to share just a real quick story with you. You may have seen this on Facebook, but this preacher was coming. He was a new preacher coming to the congregation. And what happened was, the church filled up with everybody. And, I guess one of the deacons or whatever was announcing, hey, he's coming and he'll be here shortly. And meanwhile, the new preacher came in and he dressed as a homeless man. He, completely disheveled, and he came in the church. He was sitting in the front. They made him move to the back. Said, you can't sit here. He said of all the people that came in, only 1 or 2 even said hello to him. So finally, when the big announcement came, he comes up, he walks up and takes the pulpit, and this homeless guy, like looking at the congregation, and then I can't remember what what he recited, but it was a typical Jesus, statement, and he sent everybody home. Said, wow, there will be no service today. You go home and think about this. And it had one of the many references to the being humble and being homeless and being, having nothing, and how he was treated, And so I was just like shocked with that. It was like really, really amazing. And a lot of people started crying and everything because they were so embarrassed and humiliated how they behaved. They were called out on it, So.
Yeah, that's interesting, because something that God has been really teaching me lately is that, that verse that says that true Christianity is to minister to the orphans and widows.
Yeah.
And, in Jewish society, they were the people that were despised.
Right.
People, no one took care of them. And, I'm not going to sit here and say, yeah, my favorite people to go visit are people that are 100 years old. But I'm asking God to change my heart, because that's what he said, and there's a promise in that, And it's interesting because I was on a run the other day. Oh no, that's about 3 months ago actually, and I met a lady that was sitting on her wheelchair on my run route, and so I just felt like God said, "You stop and talk to her." Well, anyway, she's 93, and she and I become best buddies. I mean, we have the best time. I go visit her. If I don't go see her, she calls my office, and in her little cute voice, she goes, "I'm just checking on Miss Kimberly. Is she okay? I would make sure she hasn't gotten sick or something," which is my signal to go see her.
Right.
So she's ministering to me more than I'm ministering to her.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a perfect time to play Love Begins.
Was a broken girl searching for perfect love. You gave me true, and showed me how to find true love. You said, give your heart to Him. He will heal your pain, and He will teach you, darling. He'll teach you how to live again, because loving Him is where true love begins. Oh, you showed me the Father that I'd been missing, and you taught me that's where love begins. Love begins with Him. Now I pray for you like I pray for me. God gave His heart to me so I can give it away. And now I'm loving on you like He's loving on me. Oh, He has taught me, darling. He's taught me how to live again, because loving Him is where true love begins. Showed me the Father that I'd been missing, and you taught me that's where love begins. Love begins with Him. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you. Giving me the best part of who you are. Thank you, oh thank you, for giving me the best part of who I am. Thank you, for showing me the Father that I've been missing, for teaching me that's where love begins. Oh, love begins with Him. Love begins with Him. Love begins with Him. And years from now, when I'm old and gray, God will keep my heart. He'll keep it loving you this way, because He never changes. He's in my heart to stay, and so I'll be loving you, my friend, until the very last day. You showed me the Father that I'd been missing, and you taught me that's where love begins. Love begins with Him. Love begins with Him. Love begins.
Love begins. What a touching track. Amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing. Love
Very-
that.
Very personal.
Yeah, would you share the backstory on that, Kimberly?
Well, when you have friends who consistently point you to Christ,
Right.
that this song was written over, and I don't want to cry, but the course of a couple of my friends who consistently pointed me to Christ. I was, if you rate one of the downfalls about being raised in kind of a hippie environment is that you equate sex with love,
Right.
and you equate people needing you with love, or being wrapped up in somebody else's life with love. And so when I was in the throes of that, I had a couple of good friends who would point me back, say, no, you need to seek Christ. You need to find him, because he's where love begins.
Okay.
And when I started to really seek him for that purpose, to be filled with him, to be filled with his spirit, to be filled with his love, then this is when the song came. It was like, okay, I was that wandering soul. I was that person who was desperate, and that girl who looked for love in all the wrong places, not to be trite, but that's the way I was looking for it in my career, making myself more valuable,
Right.
making myself, somebody that people would love. And all I needed to do was turn to Christ and love him, and then let him fill me with all the love, more love than I could possibly ever use. And that's where the song came from, because now I think about all the people I wanted to get love from, and I will always love these people, irrespective of whether they don't love me or not. They're whether I'm far or close to them, the love that I have for them is now from divine origin.
Right.
And that's what love begins is all about.
Yeah. I always say that, if you can give love without expectation of reciprocity, you're very special. You're especially blessed, because there's a huge reward in that, because there's nothing to be expected. So that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I don't need anything back. If I get something back, great, but that's not why I'm doing it. That's not my motivation. My motivation is just to give it. One of my 3 words, God bless you, from Brendan Burchard came up with this thing. You got to get your 3 words. And mine has always been love, inspire, entertain. And that's what I've been put here to do on this earth, is love, inspire, and entertain. And I don't need anything back. It's like, it's just a blessing to be able to do those things.
Well, and the bridge in that song, thank you for giving me the best part of who you are, and thank you for giving me the best part of who I am. That's what it's really. When we learn to fill ourselves with God's love, we learn to give the best part of who we are, and then we teach other people to give the best part of who they are. And they don't need anything. And it's right out of 1 Corinthians 13, love doesn't have an expectation, like you said.
Yeah.
And it's, this song is, it's a very personal experience for me. And it was interesting, because when we set out to write it, I wrote the lyrics pretty quickly, but when we set out to kind of write the music to it, I had a totally different tune in mind. And then when Jacob and I were putting together the background music and everything, he sent it to me, and this was the tune that came out. It was just, I was sitting actually right here in my dining room,
right,
and singing it to that tune. I was like, oh, Jacob, this just happened,
Yeah. No running water, but got to live in a teepee, just like the Indians. I think that was awesome. Right back to my interview with Little Star right after this.
Do you ever wonder why you were created and what you're here to do? Then the geography of the soul will help you to find your true place in this world. The music is so inspirational, including tracks such as I Wanna Be Loved, State of Grace, and Ride On. James Kevin O'Connor is an internationally acclaimed singer, songwriter, music producer, entertainment agent, TV star, and a loving father
leads you to find your true place and calms your mind and soul in breathtaking ways. Buy Geography of the Soul today by James Kevin O'Connor at iTunes, CD Baby, Amazon, jameskevino'connor.com. Geography of the Soul, a beautiful CD that you need to own today, by James Kevin O'Connor.
Sponsored by the James O'Connor Agency. What is are you a piano player? Is that your main instrument? How do you put your music together?
Well, that's very interesting, actually. I don't read music.
Good.
So,
we have a lot in common already.
So just my background is back when we were hippies, and my mom met my dad, who adopted me. He's a fantastic musician. He plays guitar, banjo, mandolin. I'm pretty sure he could play anything. Harmonica. He had back in the teepee. He would have this guitar with the harmonica thing, hooked up to him. He'd play both, and he was like Bob Dylan on steroids. I mean, he was just like really good,
Yeah.
Not with voice.
Right.
But so he taught me a few, chords on a banjo. I played a 4-string banjo, and I played guitar passively. Neither of them do I play very well. And I had literally not touched a guitar in probably 20 years. And again, when I was going through my divorce, I bought a very nice guitar, and I had given away my guitars, and it became my companion. And that's when God said, "You're going to write music." And I said, "What?" I said, "You know how Sarah laughed when the angel said she's going to have a baby at age 90? That was me." I'm like, "That's hilarious. I'm old. I'm not going to write music. I don't read music. That's funny." Well, so I started writing this music, and I'd written probably 4 songs, and just with my guitar, playing guitar. And I was introduced. I had known Jacob Paul for years and years, but I hadn't reconnected with him for a long time. And a mutual friend, Don Kennedy, who I knew from my parents' church, had reconnected us, and he's a fantastic musician. So I know this is kind of a long way around my story, but so I went to his studio, because he has a studio in Farmington, Arkansas, and let him listen to my music. Well, he thought that I wanted to record my guitar playing. I was like, no. I said, "You play the guitar and I'll sing."
Right.
So now the music that I write, for the most part, I write the lyrics. I have an idea of the sound that I want. I literally use my iPhone. I'll record lyrics and send them to him with a basic tune. Sometimes, and then I'll describe the music to him that I want it to sound like.
Yeah.
And then he begins building the music to fit the lyrics. And then we tweak it. I'll go to the studio. We'll play with it, and then eventually we'll get our full sound. And I'll go down and record the lyrics, and then we usually tweak it some more. Of course, you know how that is.
Right.
And put something together. He also sings backup for me some. My daughter Grace sings backup with me, and my son John. My son John actually co-wrote "Blessed Liberty" with me when he was in high school, and he's at West Point Academy now, military academy.
Oh, congratulations! That's amazing.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So he's actually a pretty talented musician in his own right, and all my kids read music. So. But they're way more talented than I am. I'm hoping that God will lead them in that direction.
Right. Well, let's play another one here. It sounds like you use all the tools available to create which is great, because as a songwriter, you don't necessarily have to get mired down in the instrument. It's all about the story, the melody, and the lyrics. So let's listen to "Walk On."
Well, he gave me all I need for life's hard road. Break my body, but you can't take my soul. My boots may be dusty and my jeans may be worn, but God's got my back and he knows where I'm going. Well, the angels are watching over me. He laid down his life and set me free. Knock me down, but you can't knock me out. out. My daddy brought you in and he can take you out. And my daddy says, come on, baby, when the road gets rough. When you fall down, just get yourself up. If you can't get up, I'll carry you a while. Get on your feet, girl, don't you cry. Walk on, baby girl. Walk on, baby girl. Walk on. Now you walk through some valleys and on some mountaintops, and the road may be rough, but don't you wander off. In your heartbreak, anguish, pain and fear, run to your daddy and he'll take away your tears. When the trouble of this whole world stops you in your tracks, look 'em in the eye, don't you ever turn your back. Don't you settle for the so what to break your little heart. Walk in the light, don't you play in the dark. And my daddy says, walk on, baby, when the road gets rough. When you fall down, just get yourself up. If you can't get up, I'll carry you a while. Get on your feet, girl, don't you cry. Walk on, baby girl. Walk on, baby girl. Hey girl, when they knock you to the ground, don't you get down. Stand to your feet, dance to the beat. Dust off your boots and walk down the street. Daddy's got your back and he can take the heat. Walk on, baby, when the road gets rough. When you fall down, just get yourself up. If you can't get up, I'll carry you a while. Get on your feet, girl, don't you cry. Walk on, baby girl. Walk on, baby girl. Walk on, baby girl. Walk on. But my boots may be dusty and my jeans may be worn. God's got my back and he knows where I'm going. The angels are watching over me. He laid down his life and set me free. Walk on, baby, when the road gets rough. When you fall down, just get yourself up. If you can't get up, I'll carry you a while. Get on your feet, girl, don't you cry. Walk on, baby, when the road gets rough. When you fall down, just get yourself up. If you can't get up, I'll carry you a while. Get on your feet, girl, don't you cry. Walk on, baby girl. Walk on, baby girl. Walk on.
Walk on. Yeah, Kimberly, walk on. Give us a story on that one, girl. That was good. I love the banjo at the end, too. That was really cool.
Oh, okay. So just backstory in the banjo. Jacob didn't have a banjo, and I said, "Well, we're going to put a banjo in this song." I went out and bought one, and a mandolin. I was like, "We're going to do some serious, hoedown in this song, and it's gonna because I like country rock, but I don't like, I like it to be upbeat,
Right.
That's the whole reason the song. I wrote this song after I had gone through. Of course, I'm still on my journey out of my divorce and starting a new law practice on my own because my ex-husband was my law partner, and when we got divorced, we split our law practice up, which for obvious reasons. But I was still kind of coming out of this whole "Who am I?" and God, who are you? And I had been really hurt by somebody during this process.
Right.
And I mean, it was kind of hurt where you lose 30 pounds.
Wow. Wow.
It was just crushing.
Yeah.
And I was out, and my remedy, one of my ways that I get close to God is I go out and I just walk in the woods. And I was out walking in the woods, and he just spoke to me. It was like, "Walk on, baby girl. I got you." And that was kind of wow, I need to write a song because there are people out there just like me who have been crushed, and they need to know that God is bigger than anything that can crush you. And so, and of course, like in the country rock style, the boots, the jeans, I like my boots and jeans, and,
right.
and that it just seemed natural. And that's the experience, though, was that God had me, he had me all the whole time, but I was choosing to stand still instead of walk on. I was choosing to stand in my anguish and my pain and my tears and my fears instead of just knowing I can walk in confidence because God's got me,
Right,
and he's
right.
big. He's bigger than anybody else that can hurt me, you know?
He is very big.
It's a little bit of an in-your-face song, but, I feel like as Christians that we tend to be more cowardly about our faith. And you know what? I don't even know why, because I don't know nobody's stronger than God. No one's smarter, no one's stronger, and no one loves us more. So what are we worried about?
Right, right.
So that's the tenor of the song.
Yeah, I love that. I think we're going to play another one right now. We're going to play Whom Have, because I want to get this one in. Here we go on this one.
Speak your words and thus inspire wisdom's way for my side. Have I in heaven but thee? Jesus, there is none beside thee. Start my lips to set me free. Let my life glorify thee. Oh Lord, I am in love with your heart's gentle touch. Adonai, lead from above, for in you dwells perfect love. Have I in heaven but thee? Jesus, there is none beside thee. Start my lips to set me free. Let my life glorify thee. Have I in heaven but thee? Whom have I in heaven but thee? You are all I want. You are all I need. Whom in heaven beside thee? You are all I want. You are all I need. Whom in heaven beside me? Whom have I in heaven beside but thee? Whom have I in heaven beside thee? Starless to set me free. Let my life
All right. That was awesome. So what do you think? What do you think? Whom have? Tell us whom have.
So it's inspired by the Psalm, whom have I in heaven but
Okay.
thee? And I remember having a devotional one day, and just being completely floored by the fact that there's nothing more important in my life than God. There's no one I want to please more than God. There's nothing that I fear more than being without him. And that was the foundation of the song. And it's just a worship song. It's, and I love the way that Jacob did an amazing job integrating the different instrumental parts that I wanted in there. And then my son and, sang the male part with Jacob. And so it's super special. I love to put my windows down, open the sunroof, and crank up the Bose in the car and just jam out to that song driving down the road, just because it's just a praise,
Right.
Don't have high,
Yeah. Congratulations. And it's great that you're bringing your family into this too. I mean, making everybody, take part in it. It's really awesome.
Yeah. It's kind of hard now because one lives in Argentina, one lives in North Carolina, and one lives in New York. So,
wow. Do you have 3 boys? Did you say you have 3 boys, or?
No, I have 2 girls and 1 boy.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Yeah. They must be so proud of you. I'm like, my goodness. They probably spend all their time talking to their friends about my mom. You got to check out what my mom's doing this week. You won't believe what she did last week.
No, my son told me yesterday that the thing he talks about is my food. He brags about my pie to his friends, and that's all he talks about. So I suspect that, that there's very little chatter about mom, other than maybe an occasional, I'm a pie baker.
So you're a super cook, a baker, you do it all. You know what? We're going to need at least 3 more shows, Kimberly, at least. So listen, we are at the end already. This went way, way, way too fast. So before we go, you've got books out, you've got your music out. We're going to put all of the links, all your social links in the show notes, so you don't even have to give them to us. But best way for us to connect with you, to find out about your music and your books, how do we reach out and support Kimberly Faith?
So I have a website called Go Faith Strong, and it's just gofaithstrong.com. And then it's kind of under construction right now, and we're working on that. But also we have Go Faith Strong Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. So it's all Go Faith Strong. And the feedback is fabulous from the standpoint that we know we're making a difference. But more than anything, my goal is to glorify God and to teach people how to glorify God. What does that look like as a layperson who is just, I go to work just like everybody else does every day. And
Right.
What does that look like? We're real Christians. We're transparent where we are. If that's in my law office, that's great. If that's when I'm teaching my, my life group class, Sunday school class, that's great. If that's when I'm out at Opal's house hanging out and we're practicing our gun moves, that's great,
See, I told you we'd need 3 shows.
So that's the best way to connect.
Awesome. Kimberly Faith, thank you so much for being a part of the Dharmic Evolution. I love all the things you're doing, your stories, your songs, your books, your pies, the gun range. It's all really good. So thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me, James, and all glory to God.
There is a brand new musical act out on the airwaves called Mercy. It's spiritual. It's the truth unleashed, with scripture delivered by Chaplain Christine Mercy, along with drums, guitars, pianos, violins. Behold, it's the brand new album from Mercy, titled I Am Victorious. I'm going home, back to the throne, victorious. It's glorious. I've many rooms in my Father's house for all of us. It's glorious. Learn to trust in His name. Just recorded in the Music City on the world-famous Music Row in Nashville, Tennessee. Download the album or pick up the actual CD copy of I Am Victorious right now on iTunes, Amazon, and CD Baby. And keep your eyes and ears open for the live performance tour of Mercy coming soon. This message is sponsored by the James O'Connor Agency. Best friend. Love begins. Walk on. Whom have? Kimberly has God making her so efficient, doing projects at lightning speed, it takes us mere mortals 3 to 4 times longer to accomplish these things. Kimberly's interview is now posted on the Dharmic Evolution website and is now being downloaded and listened to in countries all around the world. And we're just starting to crank things up, because now we're being downloaded in Egypt, of all places. Yes, indeed, it's Egypt. Hey, you should head over to the James O'Connor Agency. If you have not visited this site yet, you gotta check it out. Lots of artists around the world are starting to check in and take advantage of all the things this agency is offering them. An international talent agency designed for your global career. No matter where you are in your career, we've got your back. Stop by and visit the site. Find out about all the awesome packages we have designed and developed for you. Hey, do you need funding for your next album project? Well, go over to the JamesO'ConnorAgency.com. Find out what we do for singer-songwriters, musical artists, as well as authors, speakers, and thought leaders. We also want to encourage you to visit dharmicevolution.com. Check out your show and your blog profile right now. If you've been on the show, you're now on the site. Kimberly's on the site, and people from around the world are logging in to see and hear all about Kimberly, her artistry, and her music. That's it for me today. I'm your host for the Dharmic Evolution, James Kevin O'Connor, singer-songwriter, audio-video artist, master storyteller, and international talent agent. So until the next time when we meet again, I'll either see you on the socials or I'll see you on TV.
Just settle for the map. When you're welcome to the territory, I just discovered where it's at. Now I need to study the geography of my soul. You said you're on the same path. You're hoping that you'll make a new discovery. And now you know there's no turning back. It was there in the geography of your soul. Of your soul. I've been wandering around for years and years, trying to break free from the pain. Maybe all I ever really needed was to recognize and claim my own inner flame. For the map, when we can celebrate